Welcome, Hordlings, to another Game Hoarder production. I am proud to present to you Spiderweb Software, Avernum, Escape from the Pit. Let's listen to this epic fucking music before we have a little chat, shall we? Alright. So, been wanting to get started on Spiderweb Software for a long time. Company has been around since I was actually in high school. Released their first game in 1995 called Exile I, Escape from the Pit. What Avernum, Escape from the Pit is actually the second reboot from that game. In 1996 and 7, they released Exile 2 and 3. And then in 2000, they basically did a beefed up version of those same games and started remaking the Exile games and renaming them Avernum. Then in around 2011, I believe, they did another reboot with their latest engine. I believe it's called the Nethergate engine or something of that nature. And they rebooted or remastered the game again in that engine. And that's what we're going to be playing. So this is actually the second remake or reboot of Exile I. So something I actually wasn't familiar with until very recently. So the Avernum trilogy that you can get on Steam that we'll be playing is the latest and greatest version, if you will. Graphically, some people like the original Exile games because you get 6 party members instead of 4 that you get in this game. There's more spells. This is a little bit more of the refined edition. But for the sake of not playing the same exact storyline over and over a third time, we're going to skip to this version. And then we'll be going back and playing Avernum 4, 5, and 6, which were actually released before this trilogy. They were released in 2005, 7, and 9, respectively. So anyways, heard great things about them. I've dabbled around with this and did the tutorial introductory dungeon. Let's get into it. Going to be starting a new game. We're going to be making custom characters, of course, so we can go ahead and delete all these guys. It won't let you delete everyone until you have at least one character. We're going to just make custom guys. You can see you kind of have these preset classes. We're going to completely customize our own here. All right. Trying to keep an eye on the background volume. Kind of faded out on its own. All right, so obviously we need to have our barbarian figure, Mr. Luglug himself. We're gonna go with 2 fighters, a mage, and a priest. This guy would make a great Trog. Trog Bullhammer. I actually almost picked him originally for Luglug because he kind of reminds me of the original Luglug from Dark Sun with the bald head and the very tan skin, the very dark skin. But this dude on the left just got that his icon just has the best little Luglug barbarian look that I think we can go with here. So let's go ahead and make us a priest. Obviously, we'll be bringing around along Clot with us. I kind of like. We could go with chainmail decked out Clot, or we could go with skimpy bikini Clot. I think we're gonna go with our sexy skimpy healer Clot. And then last but not least, we're of course going to bring along good old RonStock the Wizard. I like this ninja looking guy. It's a little bit too much ninja though. I think we'll go with the dark blue robe dude that I just passed. It's that or the green robe guy. I think I like the blue robe guy a little bit better. Alright, let's get it. Be playing on normal. You are never going to see sunlight again. You will never breathe fresh air or be warm and dry or feel safe. This is your punishment. For your crimes, you are to be thrown into a magical portal and banished to Avernum, never to return. Your crime? Nothing as serious as you might think. Not murder, arson, or assault. No, your crime was against the Empire, ruled by the cruel Emperor Hawthorne. You spoke out against an unjust law, or you angered some minor official, or you may have just been a misfit. The Empire controls the entire surface of the world. All 4 continents have completely submitted to its rule. Not fitting in is a crime in the Empire, so you are being exiled. You are being sent down to Avernum. Avernum is a series of caverns far below the surface of the world. It is a dark, subterranean prison, a place where exiles like you spend the rest of their lives far from the light. What is it like there? Nobody on the surface knows. All they know is it's dark and deadly. It is spoken of only in whispers and only with fear. Some believe that there is no air, warmth, or food, and death comes with merciful speed. Others believe that there is enough sustenance to enable Avernites to endure a miserable, worm-like existence, until, of course, the monsters get you. And if you believe that Avernum is a paradise, a hard land of freedom, where one can at last be out from under the Empire's iron rule. People mad enough to believe Avernum is paradise soon end up there themselves. They don't really know what it is like. Nobody on the surface does, but soon you will. There is no appeal to the judge's decision. Early one morning, in a stone dome, far out in the waste, you are dragged in chains to the shimmering portal. You breathe clean, fresh air one last time. Your shackles are removed. Then they throw you in. Welcome to Avernum. These caverns are a tutorial to help you get started. Alright. So the first thing we need to do is make our character. Make our characters. We're going to quickly go over stuff here. We have strength, dex, and intelligence. Pretty obvious what those do. Strength is giving us damage with melee weapons. Wear heavier armor without being encumbered. Great benefit to warriors. Dexterity, how fast you are on your feet. Chance to hit. Damage with missile weapons. Reduces chance of being hit in combat. Helps you act sooner in combat. Also good for warriors and archers. Intelligence, solving problems. Increasing spell energy, and helps resist charming and other mental magic. And endurance is how hardy you are. The more endurance you have, the more health you'll have, and the less poison and other such afflictions will affect you. Also helps resist harmful magic. And we have our combat, and we have our magic and miscellaneous skills. We're going to definitely want some melee. This is our skill that's going to give us an advantage with daggers and swords in combat, increasing damage and your chance to hit at 1% per level. Also makes more battle disciplines available. Go with melee 2. This is hardiness. It's natural armor. Each level of hardiness reduces damage you take from all sources, even magic, poison, and acid. Let's grab some hardiness for our berserker Luglug. Parry grants 3% level chance to reduce the damage from a melee or missile attack. Let's grab some parry. Now, one thing about this game is that even though you might not necessarily use pull weapons or bows, you want to start increasing multiple weapon stats because you start to get other benefits from having that. One of our main goals with our fighters is going to be getting 2 battle disciplines called Adrenaline Rush, which allows us to attack 3 times in a turn, and also Battle Shield. But Adrenaline Rush is going to be very important and something we might even want to invest in on our casters, training them in weapons as well, so that they can also cast 3 spells or have the ability to take 3 actions in a turn. And it will, of course, all start to make sense once we start learning all that bonus stuff. So we'll need a total of 15 in these bottom 4 skills to get Adrenaline Rush. 16 for Battle Shield. So I think we'll go with Throne. So Luglug has a little bit of ability with some thrown weapons. You can see him doing that more than using bows. Finally, we get to pick our traits. You might think definitely go for strength or good health right off the bat. We have many others like Sure Hand, which helps melee attacks. But we're actually going to take Nimble Fingers. And the reason that is because tool use is how you pick locks and get to steal stuff early on in the game. So our first trait for all 4 of our characters is going to be Nimble Fingers. And then we'll start to spread them out to more traditional traits. But we don't want to come across a bunch of early game chesticles and doors and not be able to open them, you know? So that's why I'm going to go ahead and go with Nimble Fingers. Trog's going to be our more traditional fighter. We're still going to pump him up with strength and endurance, though, for now. Also going to give him... going to kind of mimic Luglug in many ways, except we're going to give him bows. Cutie patootie Clot, our cleric. We definitely want to pump up her intelligence and give her some more health with endurance. We want to go to magic and we want to train her in priest. It's going to give her abilities to cast her priestly spells with more effectiveness. We're also going to want to give her some spellcraft. Increases the effectiveness of all spells by 2% per level. I'm going to give her Arcane Lore. Some of these abilities you can use between the entire party. For instance, Cave Lore here, you don't really need to focus one character on it. The entire party kind of throws in together. So if you have a few points in each of your members, then it all contributes to Cave Lore as a total. And I believe Arcane Lore is the same. All right, let me look at that again. We're going to also let Clot be our lockpicker. Or do I want to do that? Maybe I want to make Trog be our lockpicker. Since we have two fighters. There is also the factor that we can train with trainers in a lot of these skills. So that might also play into how we level our characters specifically with skill points. A lot in the same sense of Echelon, we would go to the trainers first and train in certain abilities, and then save our skill points that we'd get through leveling up for very specific skills. We'll go ahead and stick with this. We'll just have Clot take tool use for that. She will also be nimble. And that way we can have both our fighters focus on fighter abilities. I think the priest will be a little bit more open-ended. And we won't need to... We'll have some extra skill points for her. Same thing with RonStock. Let's go ahead and pump up some intelligence, give him some endurance. Obviously, we want to take a couple levels in Mage Spell. Spellcraft, Arcane Lore. We'll throw a tool use on him as well. And nimble. All right. So our party is made. So nimble basically augments our tool use. So we're starting off with 6 in tool use. How good you are with working with simple mechanical devices, for example, picking lots and disarming traps. Multiple characters can combine their knowledge. So it kind of tells you there. The more of this is present in your party, the better the effects. So we definitely want to start getting cave lore as well. You can find better items. There's certain caches that you can explore in the overworld of the game. And you need a certain amount of cave lore to be able to search those. So if we're going to try to really show the entirety of the game, we're going to want to get some cave lore going as well. And I believe we can train up in that. Have our good old inventory screen with our paper doll. Can wear lots of stuff here. We have our backpack. We got our quick slots down here, which will move the items down here. And the way this game works is you actually have to search on the ground to see the items, and they'll appear in these slots, and then we can transfer them to our characters. Press the sun button by an item to use it. Shift click to stack the stack of items to split up. Alright, so these icons here, we have our instructions. If you wanted to look at the different instructions of the game, it's pretty intense. We have our overworld map, where the crossed weapons here show our current location. We are underground, underneath Fort Avernum. We can edit the party here, which we don't need to do. If you want to change your name or picture, you can. We have our mage spells. RonStock starts with Bolt of Fire, which does 13 to 29 damage. Call Beast, which summons a single beast to aid in combat. Cloak of Curses, which gives the group's attack a chance of putting a random curse on a target. You can only have one cloak activated at a time. And Daze confuses all nearby enemies. They will have a chance of not being able to move or attack for a short time. You can see we need to get our mage skill up to be able to learn these other spells. We have our priest spells. Clot has minor heal, curing for ailments, smite, which calls down a magical blow from the sky, does 18 to 34 damage, and protection, shields nearby allies, giving enemy blows a lower chance of hitting, doing less damage. Then we have our battle disciplines, which our character's combat skills are not high enough. We have our inventory icon that way. We have our journal, where it keeps our special items, current quest. We can record certain journal entries if we want to into our records here. And this is our start combat and end combat. And we got our level 1 party here. I'll go ahead and save over my test run. Slowly your eyes adjust to the dim light. Happily, there is light. The ceiling of the cavern is covered with scattered patches of fungus that glows with a faint green luminescence. But you are alone. It is cold, damp, and deathly still. All you hear are the echoes of dripping water in the shadows. The loneliness makes the feeling of claustrophobia more powerful. For a moment, you can sense the countless tons of stone above you, ready to at any moment crush you into nothingness. You concentrate and overcome the growing terror. There must be someone down here. You'll just have to explore and find them. So if we wanted to, we could record this entry. And then if we go into our book, go in our journal, you'll see it keeps that recorded here for us. There's going to be certain things such as codes or puzzles or hints that we're going to probably want to keep into that logbook. Constantly want to be looking on the ground, because the game is not always going to point out things that you can and cannot pick up. Searchables like chests and things like that you can click on, they'll highlight, but there are a lot of items on the ground that you can only pick up by searching the ground, literally. Much to your great relief, you finally find signs of human occupation. The gallery to the west is blocked by a wall. Rough stone blocks held together by crumbling mortar. It looks like it has been here for years, abandoned and decaying, but it is something. Less reassuring is the pile of bones between you and the wall. They look like they came from a small humanoid, perhaps a goblin. They too have been here a while. On the floor near them, someone discarded a crude cloak, scraps of leather roughly stitched together. On the surface, you would have ignored this disgusting thing. Down here with the cold seeping into your bones, you decide that you would be better off wearing it. So see, you can't click on the cloak. You got to go into your inventory. Here you see the cloak. You can pick it up. You can trade this way. And we can, of course, equip it. If you're not sure how something goes, you can actually put it anywhere and it will automatically equip it to the correct slot. There's a lot of cool little features that they've improved upon since Exile and the first Avernum. So that's another good reason why I wanted to play this one. The cloak is crude and dirty, but it is warm. You suspect that everything in the underworld is going to be crude and dirty, so you'd better start getting used to it. On this side of the door, at last, you can hear people. You smell fresh smoke and hear the muttering of speech. You're too far away to make out what they're saying, but they are to the west. You can change faster movement style. I like the movement style the way it is here. So we can see some scrawny Nephilim. These are like the underworld humanoids. They're cat people. I don't know much about the lore of Avernum, but we're going to learn together. You can also see the auto map here. No, we do not need cartography. Thank God. This is what the map is always going to look like. We just get cartography for free in this game. There are 3 people ahead, crouched around a dim, smoky fire of burning fungus. They are rolling dice, gambling over a handful of copper coins and leather garments they scavenged in these caves. Then their sharp ears detect you. They leap to their feet and spin to face you, drawing their blades. They are Nephilim, scrawny and hungry specimens, but dangerous nonetheless. Nephilim are a proud tribal race that once filled the wild plains of the surface. Then the Empire began to remove them, sending the few that surrendered into Avernum and killing the rest. This has left them with the vicious hatred of humanity. Even though you share a common enemy, they are still determined to take their revenge upon you. Okay, so they were on the surface, and then most of the race was either killed or banished to Avernum. So this is combat. We can kind of set up in this cool little grid style here. Cast some smite. Cast some bolts of fire. And then we get in combat down here. The 3 Nephilim have fallen. 3 senseless deaths. You suspect that they were sent down here through the same portal you came through. Usually the Empire sends down the Nephilim through a different portal to a different part of these caves. But of course Empire soldiers don't really care what undesirables goes where. Of course it's also possible that this underworld is controlled by Nephilim. You will soon be swarmed and enslaved, or worse. So now we can search on the ground and we can see that they had some weapons. So we got a crude dagger that does 9 to 27, and one of them was wielding a crude short sword, which does 10 to 40, so that's a bit of an upgrade for us. One thing I noticed about this is inventory. Everything in your pack doesn't count as carrying. So, in these remade versions, you can hold unlimited stuff in your pack. It doesn't weigh you down. All that counts is what you actually have equipped as far as being encumbered. So you lose a little bit of that realism, but you can also hoard a bunch of shit and not have to worry about dropping it or stashing it somewhere. Once we go to Avernum 4, however, putting stuff in our pack is going to count. And you see everything does have a weight. So for some reason, they took that out of this trilogy. This remake, if you will. So we'll spread these cloaks around because they do give plus 2% armor. And we'll throw a shield on Luglug for now. Some boots over here. Copper coins. We're going to come across a bunch of useless items. If it doesn't have a value, it's most likely a useless item. But there are some items that we're going to want to pick up that we'll need for a future quest. Because the game holder's been doing his research. And we definitely want to make sure we do as many questicles as possible. So no, you can't climb this wall. At least I don't think you can. Got some more trash and a broken pot over here. You literally can stand on any area where you see items or debris. And if you search the ground, you may be able to pick up something. It's definitely got like an Ultima vibe to it, with the amount of useless items that you can pick up. Off here we can see a little chest that's kind of hidden behind these stalagmites. Go pick that up. We got some pants. Not even the Slithzerikai. Wise as they are, have discovered the joy to be found in a truly well-tailored pair of pants. The Slithzerikai are the lizard men of this world. Basically have humans, the Nephilim, cat people, and the Slithzerikai, the lizard people. Alright, so we got Luglug all decked out. Something I thought was interesting with bracers is they actually decrease your chance to hit, but they increase your armor. So, kind of a give and take. Maybe we would be better off giving them to someone like Clot, who's not going to be doing as much attacking. Why don't I get a cloak? You'll get a cloak, RonStock. Wait your turn. See some rats up here. Huge rats. I think we'll let them come to us. No, I didn't want to do that. He moved up to get in range. Oh, this other rat's trying to flank us. Alright. Clot took him out with her sword. It doesn't follow any specific trope of fantasy, such as Dungeons and Dragons, so clerics and mages can use swords. They can wear armor, but it might have a negative effect on them if they do so. You're going to see me popping into that inventory screen a lot so that we can search around on the ground. Here we have a guy. The cave to the north is divided by a deep pool of foul, stagnant water. There's a man standing on the other side of it, watching you, his sword drawn. Perhaps he can tell you how to get to safety, if there is anywhere safe down here. There's a pool of foul, stagnant water dividing this cavern in half. On the other side of the morass, a human is staring at you. He has a dented bronze broadsword and a heavy leather jerkin. Your relief at seeing another human is not enough to keep you from noticing the coldness of his gaze, or how he seems to be sizing you up. He gives you a half bow and smirks. I, Legrand, welcome you to the underworld. And from the look of you, you are a warrior, not the weaklings and malcontents we've had coming through so far. You're an Avernite? He laughs, a grim, raspy sound. I would not say that. I don't think that Avernites are very fond of me right now. Are we the only people here? No. There are a few others in the arrival caves. That's what Avernites call these chambers. Though they didn't control them as well as they should have. What do you mean? He points at something hanging around his neck. It's a key. These caves are where all the new human arrivals are supposed to end up. Then the Avernites, noble beings that they are, find you and bring you out and help you. But then I stole this key. I came down here and locked the gates behind me. Now you are all stuck down here with me and my helpers. Why are you doing this? Because we are free, don't you understand? The Empire holds us down no longer. Now at last the strong can survive and flourish and make our own new land. You think you're tougher than me? Because if not, you will serve us. Why did you come back down here? For wealth and weapons. For first pick of the goods the Empire sends down from time to time. And of course, for hostages. When we are ready, we will trade your lives for our escape. And we will seize our own part of these caves. He lets out a long, shrill laugh. Perhaps he's not entirely sane. And what do you think you will get from us? Just intelligence. Now I know how many of you there are and how you're armed. Now my servants will be prepared. He gives one more little bow, lets out a harsh laugh, and then turns to leave you. I will not answer to scum like you. He stops for a moment, then he nods. I expected that. You don't have the look of a weakling or a thug. I suspect you have something in common with the Avernites above. Too much. No, there is something I want from you. Prepare yourselves, I will take it soon. He turns and walks quickly into the shadows. So yeah, I guess what I'll do in this adventure is I'll swap between Luglug and RonStock, trading off talking, since neither of them can decide who wants to be the leader. It's really hard to click on the square right in front of him. I don't know if there's an easier way of doing that. Gotta be very precise. Here, ratty. Oh, I didn't know there was going to be a shitload more of them up there. Oh, now you're going out of combat? That's odd. So obviously not the elegant graphics that we have in Echelon, but there's going to be a lot deeper role playing going on here, a lot deeper storyline, a lot more dialogue, and a lot more detailed of a system. Now we can see some dry bones on the ground here. I don't think we have any need for those. But up here we can see some tiny blue little crystals. And they have a value. Even says they can be sold in the store for extra cash. So definitely interested in those. A poor leather helmet by the fire. A bronze short sword, a crude bow. A limb. A remnant of one far more unfortunate than you. Alright, the bronze short sword is 12 to 48 damage. And it shows you the currently used there underneath it as well to compare, which is nice. So we can upgrade that. We can also... we made Luglug throwing. We made Trog bows, right? Oh yeah, and you can't... One thing I don't like about this is I can't come up here and just switch this screen. I have to close my inventory screen to get to this screen. So that part's a little frustrating. There's also, as far as I know, no way to close these windows without clicking on one of the other symbols here, either the red X or the green check mark. So that also is a bit strange, but that's my only pet peeve of this game so far. We have our experience up here. We need 1,000 to get to level 2. Resistances, it's all pretty self-explanatory. We have our reputation down here, 0, completely unknown. You can change your party order here. You can move Luglug down or up in the positioning. That's pretty much it. Can move guys with arrow keys as well. Someone's discarded some javelins on the floor head. It's always satisfying to fling a few projectiles ahead before engaging in melee. When you attack, you'll use your default weapon. This can be a melee weapon like a sword or a missile weapon like a javelin or bow. Get the javelins and equip them. You can switch your default weapon by pressing its button to the lower left or by typing S. Also, don't forget you can always skip a character's turn in combat by pressing the spacebar. Alright, so we got some thrown weapons. And we'll give those to Luglug since he's the thrower. Default melee weapon, default missile weapon. We'll chuck some jabs. They won't get us. The Evernites built something down here, a crude stone structure that was then left to crumble. 4 people fresh from the surface are hiding in the ruins. They look like ordinary people, farmers and merchants who angered some empire lord or said the wrong thing when the wrong person was listening. Now they are trapped here in the underworld for the rest of their lives, empty-handed and terrified. Only one of them seems to have kept her self-control. She's a young, stocky woman. She holds a crude spear in her trembling hands. Who is there? When she gets a look at you, she lowers the spear slightly. You are not one of the thugs, are you? I am Brissa. Are you trapped down here like us?
How did you come to be here?
The others. She looks at the 3 cowering in the corner. I don't know. They are barely able to talk. As for me, I suppose that I was disloyal to the Empire.
How are you disloyal?
She winces. I refused to give one of their mayors my favor. He decided to take his own petty revenge, and I would not speak of it further.
Will those others be all right?
Perhaps, if we can get out of these caves and get them a moment's safety.
All this fighting is wearing us down. Can you help?
She inspects you and nods. I found a crate of bandages probably sent down at the same time as we were. I'll do what I can. She spent some time bandaging your wounds. Most of the time, you will need to recover from your wounds by using a minor heal spell or by returning to a friendly town.
Do you need our help?
I would not beg of a stranger for aid, except our situation is desperate. There is a Cretan down here. His name is Legrand, and he has a pack of brigands and thugs to help him. We can't escape this basement while he blocks the exit. I can't fight him off. I need your help. I don't know if we want to be evil in this game because we are trying to get reputation. And plus, for the most part, 3 of our party members are normally good. But you always have RonStock chiming in.
I will help you for pay.
She sighs. I suspected as much. This is the sort of world we're in now. She produces a pouch and shakes it. It jingles slightly. She tosses it to you. I smuggled that down. Now it's yours. I hope it makes a nice substitute for honor. I will wait for news of your success. She returns to standing guard and watching over the others. The conversation ends. So yeah, I don't know how we're going to play it. I have to look into a little bit more of how reputation works. I know that you need reputation to go up in order to unlock a quest. So maybe we can do that through being a dick or through being nice. The people in the ruined building left 2 flasks of liquid on the table. Perhaps a gift for you. Perhaps a bribe to mollify the thugs ahead. These potions might help you if you have to fight your way out. Also some rocks. Terrified arrivals. Rolling. After your meeting with the ground, you aren't surprised to find these people waiting for you. 3 humans who've teamed up with 2 Nephilim. They smirk and raise their blades as you step into the dim light of their fire. As the reek of burning fungus assaults your nose, one of them says,
Well, you knew this was coming. Legrand let you know what was happening. I hope you're ready. At least you won't be in this pit much longer. What are you gonna do? You haven't figured it out. Legrand gave the order. First we do you, then those pathetic peasants back down the hall. But I'll do you a favor. Don't fight us and it'll be quick.
They advance upon you, greedily eyeing your weapons and armor. Charge it! Lead the Luglug charge. Roland's dead, bro. Let's get a little help. Got a cave crawler. Monsters will attack automatically. I have no idea what that is. It looks like some little tentacle creature. Hopefully we get some kind of bestiary. Cave Crawler took care of business for us. Cute little guy. Yes, you can dual wield. He will follow us around for a little bit. You move cautiously down the corridor. You're past Legrand's thugs, but their leader is still ahead, and without his key, you doubt you'll be able to escape this pit. It's a good time to save. You round the corner and come face to face with Legrand, a petty thug with delusions of grandeur. When he gets a good look at you, he realizes that perhaps his plan to build a new empire within Avernum is not going to work out. And yet he doesn't give in. He stands between you and the locked gate leading to the exit and snarls at you. You notice dark stains around his mouth. Perhaps he has eaten something recently that is tinkering with his brain. He points his blade at you. You got past my warriors? And what? They are dead? Well, I will get more. The Empire sends down more killers every day. Avernum won't take them, but I will. You notice that he's holding something in his offhand, but you can't tell what it is. Give me the key and I will spare you. Legrand's brigands seem to think that this is a pretty good deal, but he shakes his head. I'm no fool. I can start again once you are dead. I won't let them throw me into the abyss. Come on! He charges you. His warriors, seeing no other option, regretfully follow him. You fucked up! Surprise! Well, now you guys are going to start missing. Check out some of these new spells. Legrand is wounded. He is bleeding and exhausted. No! You will not stop me! I have one thing I smuggled. He raises his left hand and you can see that he is holding a glass globe. Goodbye, fool. Enjoy your new life of servitude. He smashes the globe against the floor. A cloud of lavender smoke spreads out, choking you, confusing you. Legrand turns and runs toward the gate. The key is in his hand. Basically paralyzes with fear, some kind of terror potion. You can see that we're terrified here. I didn't get to kill him the last time I did this. Legrand falls to the ground dead. You recover the key. In moments, you have the gate to the exit open. He got away last time. Crude broadsword. Plus 5% chance to hit. 15 to 60 physical damage. 15 to 45 physical damage to foe near target. 10%. A gold ring. Wow, we got lucky. I'll take it. Some clay pots down here. Can't do much with those. See these little items down here? Well, we found some leather armor. They're amphoras. Basically little vases. Also, useless decor. Slayers! Some mushrooms. Heal off of these. And some healing herbs. Can be taken to alchemists in towns and converted into potions. See, when we have something searchable like this, it lights up. So that works a little bit differently. We have a scroll of radiate ice. Sheets of papyrus and bars of iron. Maybe we can make scrolls, I don't know. Let's make sure we return to Brissa and let her know that it is safe to get out of here. You'll also notice a nice little autosave feature that saves in case you forget.
Legrand is gone. You can escape now, pretty girl.
She is so relieved that for a moment you think she might break into tears. But then she starts nudging the others with her shoe. Come on, let's escape while we can. As they rise, she turns to you. I thank you. This has been a rough arrival, but perhaps things will improve. She thinks, but I doubt it. Then she turns and begins to escort the others toward the exit. It is turn-based, so they walk as you walk. Alright, they've escaped. I feel much better. One more gander through here. Stone blocks. Ah, and search this fire pit. Belt and gloves. Those don't mess with our ability to attack, so that's good. Scouring that ground, folks. Scouring the ground. I think we have everything. There's some more stone blocks out here. Lots of rocks. I got some bags up here. Bag of meal. Yep, we want those also. Dried mushroom powder, waiting to be made into bread. Getting close to being encumbered there with all this armor. You emerge from the dark, and your claustrophobia is immediately replaced with vertigo. You're in a fort with a gigantic cavern, the stone ceiling arcs hundreds of feet over your head. As your eyesight adjusts, you look around at the world of Avernum for the first time. You're inside what looks like some sort of fort. It is made of huge blocks of stone, roughly mortared together. Wood must be rare down here, only the doors are made of it. There are a few odd trees nearby, more fungus than wood. Then, when your awe at this strange sight fades, you notice the warriors. They stand around the lip of the pit you are in, weapons drawn. Some of them have bows pointed at you, ready to fire. As you prepare to defend yourself, a man comes running toward the lip of the pit from the south. "Stop! Stop!" he shouts. "Don't fire! Let me talk!" Alright, folks, that wraps it up for this episode of Avernum. Stay tuned. More soon to come.